So I'm up to the next step of this Gemista recipe. So I ended up following those steps to cut open the tomatoes and the capsicums. Save the lids for the respective tomatoes just to make it easier. So just put them on top every time you cut a tomato so you don't mix them up or lose them. So they just fit a bit nicer that way. I did put olive oil on the bottom, probably a good swag of olive oil. As you can see, it hasn't covered it completely. And then what you do is put probably half a cup of boiling water from the kettle down the bottom just before you put alfoil over all of it, because that creates steam and like a hot pan on the bottom that just helps it to cook. So they are empty inside. Don't worry if you cut the top open and you end up having to put it on its side a little bit. It'll still cook okay, but you want to preserve the moisture inside the capsicum as much as possible, which is why I cut this one on an angle, because obviously when you lay it flat like that, the contents stay inside and they don't leak everywhere, which is what you ideally prefer. But as you can see, these were cut at the top. So that's empty now because I ended up mashing it with a potato masher, the contents of the tomato, and it's in here now. So it's slightly lumpy just because it was potato mash, which is absolutely fine. You don't want to make things too perfect because that's actually going to be cooked in the pan. So the lumps don't really matter. It'll all work out in the wash. Mint I've just chopped like that. These were from Kmart, these knives, by the way. It was a set of 3 of different sizes and they're very sharp. I expect them to last for a long time. They're very good. I've got 1.5 cups of basmati rice. Spirit did recommend 1 cup, but this is where my amasim strategy has to come into play because, look, I trusted myself in putting that little bit more just because these capsicums take a bit to fill with rice. It's quite surprising once you start filling them up how much rice they actually take. So I did do 1.5 cups. I'm going to use half of these sausages just by squeezing out the contents into a pan because a little bit of meat actually goes a long way with the rice. And a good handful of this. So I'm going to cook these two in oil with the tomato juice afterwards. Enough water in the pan with that mixture, and at the end you then add the mint because you don't want it to cook down too much because it'll end up cooking in the oven anyway once you fill up these and put them in the oven. And that you add last because you don't want to pre-cook it in the pan. You actually want that to cook inside the oven with the tomatoes and the capsicum as it cooks, because these cook in the oven and get softer and the rice will cook with it. So that's the plan. So hopefully you got all that, and catch you soon.